What's going on, guys? This is Rob, and if you're enjoying the content here on my channel, then make sure you hit the like button and make sure you hit subscribe so you can help decide what direction the content on my channel goes in the foreseeable future. What's going on, guys? This is Rob, and I am recording this video from Comic Storian's house. Yes, I am. I am recording this video from his house. I have finally made it out to Colorado. So, Spider-Man is getting his own movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes, he's had his own movies before. He's had like 5, but he's getting his own movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Spider-Man Homecoming. It comes out this weekend, and to celebrate this momentous occasion, we're gonna kill him, because that's what we do, right? Like, we kill superheroes. The Rob Corps is like the most dangerous villain group ever in the history of comic books. We literally just go around and try to find ways to kill superheroes. Now, as we do with each of these videos, we will start out with a brief discussion of Spider-Man and his powers to figure out why killing him would be a challenge. And then we'll move on to our analysis of how we could take him out permanently. Now, unless you happen to be watching this video from a planet other than the planet Earth, I assume that you know who Spider-Man is. But in case you're watching this from the Andromeda Galaxy, back in 1962, Stan Lee and Steve Ditko created a character named Peter Parker, a high school student that got bitten by a radioactive spider on a trip to a science exhibition. Now, as a result of that bite, Peter was given various spider-like powers, which we'll get into later. But after his Uncle Ben is murdered, he devotes his life to fighting crime and became Marvel's most recognizable superhero, which is still true today, even over 50 years after his creation. Now, as far as Spider-Man's powers go, he has several powers that are inherent to him as a result of the spider bite, and has also augmented those abilities with several pieces of technology that he's developed throughout the years. Because in addition to all the powers that we're about to get into, Peter Parker's also a scientific genius, because why not? So, first of all, Spider-Man has superhuman physical attributes, including strength, speed, durability, agility, reflexes, a healing factor, and the ability to like jump really far. Now, in terms of strength, Spider-Man has repeatedly demonstrated his ability to lift multiple tons, as he's been able to pick up cars, trucks, tanks, and has even been able to support the weight of a private jet, and has held up the Daily Bugle skyscraper, as well as trying to keep Sony afloat. Now, as for how he's able to use this strength in battle, Spider-Man's punches would be absolutely devastating to his opponents were it not for the fact that he is consistently pulling his punches so that he does not dismember or even kill them. I want to see that story. I want to see a story where Spider-Man just like freaks out one day, right? Like Spider-Man kills the Marvel Universe. Spider-Man's like, I've had enough, and like just starts attacking people. Like he punches the lizard's head off his shoulders and like rips off the arms and legs of Dr. Octopus. I'd read it. You know, if I read Ruins, I can handle that. If you guys never read Ruins, it's like the worst case scenario in a story ever. It's like, what would the Marvel Universe look like if like everything that was bad actually happened? Like it's a really, it's really dark. Anyway, Spider-Man is made an even more formidable foe by his insanely fast agility and reflexes. Now his reflexes are so fast that not only can he dodge punches or melee attacks, but he can even dodge bullets. So because of this, dealing damage to him is going to be difficult, but any damage that we are able to deal is going to be of questionable effectiveness because of Spidey's increased durability and healing factor. Now, even though he isn't invulnerable, Spider-Man is much more durable than a normal human and can heal faster than a normal human as well. Although his healing factor is nowhere near close to other characters in the Marvel Universe like Wolverine or Deadpool or the Incredible Hulk. So while Spider-Man can take more damage than a normal person, his durability and healing factor are not going to be something that we have to really gameplay around, since he can be harmed by pretty much any conventional means. Now, another ability that we have to take into consideration is Spider-Man's spider sense, which alerts him to impending danger and allows him to react to threats almost instantaneously. Of course, this is also the ability that makes him one of the most capable superheroes in the entirety of the Marvel Universe. The spider sense operates as a tingling feeling in Spider-Man's brain that increases in intensity based on the severity of the threat. So of course, the more severe a villain is, or the more dangerous they are, or the closer his imminent attack is going to be, the more intense the spider sense. This of course is going to make killing Spider-Man even more difficult, because anything that we plan, he's going to be alerted to by his spider sense before we could even fire a bullet at him, much less get close enough to actually hit him. Now, in addition to all this, Spider-Man also has the ability to wall crawl, meaning he can climb vertical surfaces by clinging to them with his hands and feet, and can even cling to surfaces using only his back. So that pretty much wraps wraps up Spider-Man's actual powers. But there is one piece of equipment that Spider-Man has used consistently over the years in his own various comic books, which we simply just can't ignore. As you've probably guessed, I'm referring to Spider-Man's web shooters. Now, everyone's probably familiar with Spider-Man's ability to swing across the city from webs. It's like the one thing I'm looking forward to in his video game, right? Like the Spider-Man game, I'm looking forward to just like swinging around the city. I'll do that more than I like complete quests and go through the story. I'll just be like, yeah, Spider-Man. But anyway, except for a brief period in comic books, Spider-Man's web shooting ability is not a part of his power set, but instead comes from the web shooters that Peter Parker invented shortly after becoming Spider-Man. Now, over time, Peter has made modifications to the web shooters themselves and has added different cartridges capable of producing different types of webbing. He's able to use the web shooters to create webs that he can swing on, to tie up his enemies, create nets strong enough to hold back heavy vehicles, or shoot as a projectile weapon. And so with that in mind, we can see why killing Spider-Man is going to be a challenge. But nonetheless, we do not give up. So it's time for us to move on to the reason for why you clicked this video in the first place, figuring out how to kill Spider-Man. So I think the first thing that we're going to have to do is take out Spider-Man's spider sense. It makes the most sense. If we're going to kill Spider-Man, the last thing we want to deal with is his spider sense alerting him to our attack the moment we launch it. So we need to find a way to negate it. Fortunately for us, there have been several times when this has happened in comics. The Green Goblin once developed a gas that not only dulled Peter's spider sense, but all of his powers. Kraven the Hunter was able to suppress the spider sense with a jungle scent. Mysterio invented a device that was able to neutralize the spider sense, and Tony Stark did something similar during the Civil War storyline by inventing a device that could confuse Spider-Man by sending out false signals. It's also possible that individuals with telepathic abilities can disrupt Spider-Man's spider sense, as this has been done at least once by a character known as the Wraith. Now, once the spider sense has been neutralized, we're still going to have to overcome his other powers. So we need to ask ourselves if there's any of Spider-Man's other powers that we can eliminate. And I think the answer to that question is yes, and that I think we can negate Spider-Man's ability to crawl up walls. Spider-Man's wall crawling ability can indeed be completely neutralized if the surface he's attempting to climb up is sufficiently slippery or frictionless. In fact, such D-list villains like Stiltman and Paste Pot Pete have been able to use lubricants to take away Spider-Man's ability to attach himself to walls. Now, while this might not seem like a big deal, I think that taking away this ability is pretty advantageous for us. If we were able to apply some sort of lubricant, like the chemical coating used by Alistair Smythe, which prevented Spider-Man's webs from sticking to his original Spider Slayer robot, if we were to find this chemical and coat the entire area around our fight with Spider-Man taking place, we can take away his ability to get to high ground, as he probably won't be able to attach a web to a slippery surface either. That means that Spider-Man is going to have to battle us on the ground. And even though he is still super strong, super quick, and extremely durable, it makes our task infinitely easier if he's not able to use the city landscape to his advantage. Now, even though we have Spider-Man relegated to the ground, we still don't want to engage him in hand-to-hand combat. Remember, he could dismember us with one punch, and so we need to find some weakness that he has that we can use to our advantage to level the playing field even more. But the question becomes, does such a thing exist in comics? Well, believe it or not, it not only exists in comics, but also in the real world, and we have to go all the way back to Amazing Spider-Man number 106 to find it. In that issue, we once again get a cue from Alistair Smythe's Spider Slayer, this time the Mark IV version, which employs the chemical ethyl chloride, which Spider-Man says is harmful to spiders. And since Spider-Man shares some DNA with spiders, he remarks that the chemical lowers his body temperature and slows him down. So if we can acquire and deploy a large amount of this gas, we might be able to slow down Spider-Man's reflexes. That, combined with our disruption of his spider sense and taking away his wall crawling and web slinging by applying a lubricant to the buildings in the vicinity, will likely be enough to make Spider-Man a sitting duck for any ranged weapon that we want to employ, meaning we can basically take him out in any way we want to. We could use a machine gun, we could use a bazooka, we could use a grenade launcher, we could hand it back over to Sony, almost anything that you want in terms of how to take out Spider-Man and just kill him off forever. But with that being said, guys, we're gonna go ahead and bring this video to an end. If you are new here to Comics Explained, make sure you guys hit the sub button to become part of the Rob Corps. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like and leave a comment down below. Let me know who you think we should kill next, and I will catch you all later. Peace.